I know nobody is really feeling Monday, but I just wanted to come real quick and share kind of one of the life lessons that I've learned. And when I say that, I know nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear about taking accountability. But the title of this tidbit is, it's not you, it's both of y'all. One thing that I have learned about relationships is it's not always you, it's not always just them, it's both of y'all. Y'all each have, especially in failed relationships, when we walk away from it, the natural thing is, let's pick apart who did this and who did that. But the thing about learning from your mistakes and from your past experiences is learning how to take accountability. And the problem is that it's not just you, it wasn't just them, it was both of y'all. Because what happens when two broken people get together is your brokenness accelerates their brokenness. And so each of y'all have brokenness and dysfunction that's just feeding on the other person's. So what happens is we get in relationships with people that seem great, like they have it all together. And then as we get deeper into it, our broken pieces start to mingle with their broken pieces. And then somebody who, seemed like they might have actually really had it together or something like that. Sorry, y'all, my ear's itching. Somebody that seems like they might have really had it together starts to kind of become a whole different person, and in your mind, it's like, this is not who I got with. Like, this is not what I thought this person was all about. And the reality of it is that sometimes we have brokenness that's dormant, meaning we haven't really had a reason to act out of that brokenness. But when you get with certain people, that brokenness wakes up. So the things that you had under control when it was just you, when you get with another broken person, that stuff starts to wake up. The insecurities that you're able to hide when you're single, the control issues that you're able to hide when you're single, the spirits of lust that you're able to hide when you're single, the disrespect that you can hide when you're single, all of the things about each of you that you're able to hide when you're single begin to come out, because some stuff you don't have to deal with as a single that you do as a couple. So like the self-control part of you to not go out and do stuff you're not supposed to do, you don't really have to worry about using that when you're single, because you're free to do what you want to do. And then you get in a relationship and you're good for a few months, and then you start missing being single, and you start missing sleeping around. Or if you're a female, you're really confident when you're single because you don't have anybody that you feel like you have to hold on to, so you can, the attention is coming from different places and you can accept it. Then you get in a relationship and you're with one person, and that one person doesn't tell you you're beautiful today, and all of a sudden you're crumbling in the floor. So when you get with another broken person, the parts of you that weren't really active when you were single become active when you get in a relationship with that person. I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's too spiritual, but the reality is that the spirits that are in you recognize one another. So you wonder why you keep getting drawn to the same person. Or sometimes you're like, I wasn't even looking, they were just drawn to me. And it's because whatever spirit of dysfunction or brokenness that they had on them recognized that in you. And so it brought you together because you bonded over your brokenness. But then you two get together and you're not able to coexist, because two broken things can't make one whole thing. That's just not the way it goes. And so you'll get with each other and it's good for a couple of months, and then them broken pieces start coming out. And you're like, bro, this is not even who I first met. But it's because when you get with another broken person, you awaken that dysfunction in each other. And so things begin to quickly fall apart. So what you have to do when it's over is you have to take a really good look at yourself and say, you know what? It wasn't just them. There were some things about me that might not have been great. There were some broken pieces in my life that could have made it hard for them to be in a relationship with me. And there were some broken pieces in them that made it hard for me to be with them. But it's done, it's over. How can I fix it? And that's the thing. You begin to take accountability when you begin to ask the question, how can I fix it? When you can recognize that it wasn't just them, that maybe I need to work on this, or maybe this in me contributed to that in them, and it just became one big mess. And I say that because I've had to learn that over the years. I'm not afraid to admit that I've had to learn from my failures, because your brokenness will cause you to fail in certain areas until you get with God and say, okay, God, I keep going through the same thing. I keep getting with the same kind of person. What is it in me that is broken and kind of yearns for that? So when you start to ask that question and you start to accept that it's not just you or them, but that it's both of you, that's what helps you to move forward and move on and begin to take accountability and make the changes that are necessary.